Last time on Dragon Ball Rage, after doing away with Videl and Pan, Gohan would be rendered unconscious by the reinvigorated cell. As Goku and Vegeta tried to fend him off, they were still too exhausted from their sparring match from before to do much damage. But with Piccolo deciding to join the battle and Gohan waking up, will his anger be enough to unlock his hidden strength? This story was created by Jairus Smith and is part 3 of an ongoing series. Support him and catch up fully using the links below. Looking on, Beerus comments on how both Saiyans have failed to bring down Cell. He says this almost apathetically, or as if he never considered this being an outcome. Whis says that it looked like Vegeta is on the verge of a breakthrough. He nearly finished the job. That was only the case until he gassed himself out. It's unfortunate, but he has to admit that he's glad to see they've both been defeated. Now baby, they'll finally get to see what they've been waiting for in Gohan. Speaking of whom, it seems he has at last regained consciousness and is starting to move. And it's about time. The Destroyer ushers Whis to take them both to Earth. He wants to have a front row seat for this power he's spoken so highly of. The perfect life form continues to mock him, jostling that two of the Earth's greatest heroes, helpless to defend their planet. Turning to Vegeta, Goku shouts that they have to think of something fast, though he's equally at a loss. Piccolo removes his cloak exclaiming, that's it. He doesn't care if he dies. He already failed to protect Videl and Pan. He refuses to just stand here and watch Goku and Vegeta get killed too. As the Namekian touches down, Cell is so glad he decided to join him. This makes things a little more interesting, even if only minutely so. Our greatest hero isn't sure this is such a great idea though. Cell's too powerful for the two of them in their current state. He doesn't believe Piccolo will stand any chance whatsoever. But if the two of them die, he'll just destroy the planet anyway, so it's not like he has anything to lose. Which couldn't be more true. Although Vegeta doesn't know about the two of them. But he doesn't have any intention of dying today. Agreed! The humans stand by uncertain what to do. They might have beefed up a little bit for the Tournament of Power, but if Goku can't even touch him, what chance do they have? Even if this was the old Cell, it probably wouldn't be good. Just like Piccolo, Tien reminds they might not be able to do much, but if they fail, they're dead anyway. He says they join in and see what happens. Beats uselessly standing around. Getting himself hyped, Krillin agrees. He's gonna go out. He wants to go knowing he at least tried to do something, inquiring if Yamcha's in too. He cracks his knuckles and smiles that he was just enjoying a great dinner before all this started. If that's his last meal, so be it. With the plan agreed upon, the gang moves out.
Is this the best you three have to offer? What? I see. Everyone wants to get involved now. No matter. I'll dispose of all of you at once!
After this attack, our heroes are rendered immobile. Cell grinds out to know where they were before they were so rudely interrupted. That's right. He was thinking of just how he was going to get rid of the two of Goku and Vegeta. He wanted to take his time, but he thinks he'll just destroy the entire planet now. But one hope still remains as Gohan calmly walks onto the battlefield. Cell cackles. Look who decided to wake up from his little nap. Furious. He tells Cell that all he ever wanted was to live a normal life, do normal things, live peacefully like so many millions of others on this planet, and get to live his own life on his own terms. But ever since he was a child, something or someone was always taken from him by someone who felt so entitled. And now somehow, he's come back and taken his family from him. said it seems they've arrived right on time. Looks like they're going to get their front row seat after all. Calling out for both he and Whis. Goku asks what they're doing here. Looking on with excitement, the Destroyer must say this is quite an impressive transformation. It seems his assistant was right about Gohan. Perhaps he has the potential to not live forever in his father's shadow. He has devastating power locked away. It just needs a window which to escape. The Angel's glad that he's taken a liking to this new form. It is quite a power-up for the young Saiyan. His only concern is that since Gohan hasn't had proper training in a while, there's no telling how long his body can sustain such strength. He could easily hit his limit before this fight reaches its natural conclusion, or it's entirely possible he could simply destroy his body. As the battle rages on, this is something they'll find out soon enough. Relishing at the moment, the android has waited a long time for this. All this time he's been toiling away in hell, fantasizing about this exact scenario. As Gohan shouts, he will win! He will make him suffer! Come then. Hopefully this hubris doesn't come back to bite him like it did the first time around when he was a child.
What?
With this most recent power-up, Gohan appears to be overwhelming his adversary. Beerus joyfully mutters that this boy is special. Whis agrees, and given their state, he takes it upon himself to heal the Saiyans. Now that they're back in working order, they have to go help Gohan, causing the Destroyer to interject that they will do no such thing. But what does he mean? His son needs him! Beerus remains firm on this. Gohan will fight Cell alone. Does he understand?
Impressive, Gohan! But it won't be enough to beat me!
The back and forth of the battle continues. Goku calls out for a shout and doesn't understand the god's logic. Why won't he let him join the fight? This isn't some training session. This is a matter of the sake of the Earth. Both he and Vegeta can take Cell out now that they're at full power. And he dares to mention that he thinks he already knows why he won't give him an answer. When Cell transformed and showed off his new god power, Saiyan knew there was only one person who had that kind of key. It was instantly obvious, actually. And that person is Lord Beerus, and Lord Beerus alone. His daughter-in-law and granddaughter were both killed. Did he have anything to do with this? The pompous god he is, Beerus simply ignores Goku's yelling and keeps his eyes elsewhere. That's when Cell takes notice of all the commotion. He wonders what the two of them are doing here. Still in silence. The android knows he won't be able to handle both Goku and Vegeta with their renewed strength. Something has to be done about them or this will quickly get out of hand and he'll miss his opportunity. Shockingly, Beerus turns to explain to them. The truth is, before Cell interrupts them, bellowing that he doesn't know how they got back on their feet. But they won't stop him from exacting his revenge on Gohan. Only in his base form, Goku calls for everyone to look out. Satisfied with this surprise attack, the monster believes that he surely got them all with that. Though his wording is peculiar here. If you were only trying to kill Goku and Vegeta, wouldn't he say both and not all? Wait, we see from a distance the group is fine. A shield of energy radiates around them, protecting its inhabitants from the blast. Not only this, but Cell's actions have caused the real god of destruction to grow a bit nettled. Cell interrupted him as he was speaking. His eyes glow as he scowls. That was rather rude of him. Getting in his face, Beerus knew from the start that he needed to tread carefully in reviving him. He's well aware of his narcissistic sadism. Now, he believes that wielding the power of a god has gone to his foolish head. Does he need to be reminded who it was who gifted him these powers? a statement that one of our heroes is equipped to hear in full clarity. Cell merely stares back at him in fear and frustration, as his silence speaks louder than words. The Destroyer scoffs that he didn't think so. This power can be taken away as easily as it was given to him. He has no idea the gap which separates the two of them, and if he steps out of line again, it'll be the last time. Almost as a prod, Goku wonders aloud what the two could be talking about. Of course, Piccolo knows exactly what's been said. Vegeta prompts him to speak up. What are they saying? With brief hesitation, he thinks they should ask him themselves, although Goku in particular isn't going to like it. Who already kind of figured that. This leads us to wonder how his and Beerus' dynamic will change. Who goes on that from this point forward, Cell's only concern is Gohan. That's the reason for all of this. He already informed Goku and Vegeta that they nor anyone else is to interfere in this fight. The android finally responds to admit that's quite generous of him. However, you might be thinking too highly of Gohan. He's already been put down twice now. Wasn't this the same arrogance which got Cell killed in the first fight? Quite frankly, it's starting to become annoying. The god begins to think that perhaps he made a mistake in resurrecting him, and he should put him down permanently himself. As Gohan comes blasting out of the rubble, he screams to Beerus that Cell is his. His alone. With this, the Destroyer takes his leave and bids Cell good luck. Who doesn't think he'll really need it? The most out of his second wind. Beerus is overjoyed. This fight is very entertaining and he's amazed at seeing what Gohan can do. Had he exhibited this prowess during the tournament, things might have been a lot easier. He then turns his focus to Goku. He scolds that he failed to inform him how strong and talented his son was. Who argues that he always knew he was strong, but he also always needed a push to get to the next level. Not to mention he hates fighting, something he himself didn't realize until his fight with Cell the first time. Being transparent, the god then comments on how that brings him back to why he and Whis are here. The Saiyan asked if he was involved in Cell's resurgence. He directly states that was indeed his question. And the truth is, this whole thing was his idea. So this means he's responsible for what happened to Videl and Pan? Beerus smugly takes credit for Videl, but there was never any intention of killing the child. That one's on Cell. Whis has to reveal that he too played a part in this as well. When Lord Beerus awoke from his slumber, he spoke of how excited and happy he was that their universe won the Tournament of Power, and how intrigued he was with how strong he and Vegeta had become. It was at that point he informed the Destroyer of his son, Gohan, and that he once surpassed him when he was just a boy. Whis told him that the loss of life was a strong motivator in unlocking Gohan's power. Deity chimes back in. That's when he decided to bring Cell back. He hired him to kill Videl, gave him a portion of his new power to push Gohan to a new level. But he didn't anticipate killing the infant. For that, he is sorry and will offer his apologies. But an apology? Apologies won't bring back Videl and Pan. Which is why Whis took the liberty of locating all the Dragon Balls, so they can be wished back once this is all done. However, that still doesn't excuse their actions. After everything they did to win the tournament and keep their universe from being erased, he goes and pulls a stunt like this? When Vegeta shouts to get his attention, asking what he wants. The prince understands his anger, but he needs to see the bigger picture. Bigger picture? What does he mean by that? He tells him to just look at his son. He's going up against Cell with god power. When was the last time he showed any sign of Saiyan pride other than the tournament? Even then, he preferred his human side more. He was weak and becoming weaker, completely neglected his training. Lord Beerus' methods may have been extreme, but he can see plain as day that the results don't lie. His son has reached a new level that he never thought he would. And that's when it hits Goku. His new level really is phenomenal. Beerus adding that was the purpose. Had it not been for him, Gohan would still be a weak little schoolboy. A Saiyan must embrace his heritage, otherwise he'll be next to useless in battle. Whis can tell that he's still quite uncomfortable with his entire situation. And of course he is! Pan was just a baby. Again, Beerus reminds her death was not intended or anticipated. They will both be wished back and returned as soon as this ordeal is over. Goku lets it be known that he is grateful they gathered the Dragon Balls for him, but no child should ever have to go through that. Having had it with his arguing, Vegeta again calls out to his rival. They can't change what happened. All they can do is move on and wish him back. But just try telling that to Gohan. He doesn't know how he's going to react when he finds out about this. Which even Whis thinks is a good point. But while Beerus says that he's aware he'll be angry, they will cross that bridge when they come to it. With the rematch between Gohan and Cell heating up, just how much longer can Gohan's body hold out in this new form? And will he forever hold a grudge against Beerus for doing what he's done? Or find a way to forgive him?